but in that he liveth unto God. Likewise reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto God through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Verse 10. Right, yeah. For in that he died unto sin once, but in that he liveth unto God. Let's actually do it this way. We'll have so the guys do verse 9 and girls do verse 10. Guys 11 and switch up. So guys, verse 9.
Knowing that Christ being raised from the dead dieth no more, death hath no more dominion over him.
For in that he died unto sin once, but in that he liveth unto God.
Likewise reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto God through Jesus Christ our Lord.
And girls, verse 9. Knowing that Christ
being raised from the dead dieth no more, death hath no more dominion over him.
For in that he died unto sin once, but in that he liveth unto God.
Likewise reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto God through Jesus Christ our Lord.
And we'll say all three together. Knowing that Christ, being raised from the dead, dieth no more, death hath no more dominion over him. For in that he died unto sin once, but in that he liveth unto God. Likewise reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto God through Jesus Christ our Lord. And this is due on Thursday rather than Friday. Friday, I'm not going to be here to say it to you.
Are we doing reading today?
No. Say what?
And just reading over all the work I have to get done.
Oh yeah, it's intense.
So math, Bible, language, and science. That's all.
So,
And chorus is happening.
What?
And chorus is happening.
Do we get graded on the chorus?
Well, you should.
It was just a question.
Do you have another filter stuff?
Yes. Two more to
Are they hard? Is it Silent Night? Because I don't want to sing Silent Night again.
that. You won't sing Silent Night again.
Silent night. We're gonna be silent that night.
I bet that would be more embarrassing to sit up there and not say anything than it would to sing Silent
we
Night.
just like stand up there for a
We're
while.
gonna
Walk
say
off.
silent night.
Well, no,
Or is that just Leah's assumption?
This Leah's assuming things at this point.
No, I'm not assuming that we're gonna sing it. I don't want to sing it because
How does that make you feel to want to?
We've sang it for
Not
the
to
last
want to
years
sing.
in a row.
because we had to sing it a couple years.
Trouble.
And I'm
Move the
sick of
spirit
it.
hanging. All right.
What?
So we have when you're working with equations, what's always the system?
Are you talking to us or?
Yes,
Okay.
8th grade.
You
So
do
we have-
abracadabra, and you get the right answer.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, it's like
All
Richard
right.
said.
Like you just said.
Now you go -4 on both
All
sides.
right. Why?
Just
Because
because.
that's how you do it.
Because this is addition. You always have to do the opposite, right?
Exactly.
When you get x by itself, you have to do the opposite of whatever's on the same side of the things as x. So you have to get x by itself, you have to subtract 4. What about this? What do we do?
Divide.
Why?
Because it's multiplying.
Because it's multiplication. It's multiplication to divide.
Don't you
Do
use
it.
that square root symbol thing to the
Say
bottom?
what?
No,
And you write that like this.
You could.
Say what? Not in this case you can't. There's no squares.
Whatever.
If, though, you had this, x squared equals 16, then you could. Right? So what's the opposite of a square?
no. That'd be the same though.
A
Like,
square
we're
root.
the same answer.
They come out with the same answer, but it doesn't mean it's the same. So what?
Square root.
Right. A root is the opposite of a square. So you root both sides, just like you do for this, just like you do for that. You have to root both sides, and you wind up with
X equals 4.
x equals 4. Why?
Because you.
Square root of 16 is 4. The square root of x squared is x.
Right. The square root of x squared equals x. Absolutely 100%. If you root a square, you get the number. Christopher, what is the opposite of division?
Multiplication.
You're right. So if you have x over 4 equals 4, what do?
You can cross out the 4s in your...
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
First things first, you skipped a step.
You have to times
You have to multiply both sides by 4. So you wind up with x.
over 16.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
You-
X equals 16.
X equals...
Why did I say?
I don't know.
Yeah, you should maybe.
Yeah.
This time.
So you bring everything down, you bring your equal sign down as well. The 4's disappeared. That's division. Very important to remember. All right. So, if we would have, for example, this equation, how would we solve it?
X equals square root of 3.
All right, so we root both sides. We get x equals, we'll just write that like this.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Because that's how you told us to do
it
it
doesn't
yesterday.
come out evenly to, yeah, you just do that.
Right. So this is the most accurate way to write that. You can write an approximation if you have to, but usually, I mean, in most cases, you're not going to. When they come out as an irrational, then we're just not going to worry about it. All right, so 1 on page 22.
Did we already check these?
Some of them we did. Number 1 is done for you, or A is done for you. B, the answer is x equals 6. C, we didn't do this one. The answer is A equals 14. Number 2A, x equals 3. B is x equals 7. And C is x equals the root of 72. Number 3. A is, yes.
What if I just have x equals 72 without the root sign?
That's wrong, unfortunately. Number 3A, 32.5 cents per ounce.
I just have cents, not per
Yeah, I can give you that, I guess. B is 2 ounces. 4A, the equation comes to x is equal to or greater than -3. So you put a dot on -3 with a line, an arrow to the right. That right. 5A is 2A to the 4th. B is to the 4th. That's correct. Because this is why. A is the same as A to the 1st.
Hey,
Yeah, I know.
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
For number 5D, they have little stars beside that one.
Mm-hmm.
Is it wrong? Like, do we
Yeah.
have to count that wrong if we got it wrong?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's a deep subject. Anyway, B.
That is so funny.
I know. I made it up myself. No, I didn't. B. 12x squared y squared.
Thursday.
A is 2A to the 4th.
I should have got that one right. but-
C was 32y to the 5th. D, basically, so this is a 2-step simplification, by the way. Your first step should have been 6x squared plus 2x squared, and that should simplify to 8x squared.
Yay. I don't appreciate this star one. I don't appreciate math in general.
Well, I'm trying to make it as easy and understandable as possible, but I'm not trying to oversimplify it. 6 is 75 degrees. 7. The answer is 2,034.72 cubic feet.
I think I squared it when I shouldn't have.
It's quite possible. Your formula should be volume equals capital BH. Formula for the capital B is volume equals pi r squared.
Oh, yes. I do see why I got that note.
How'd you do that?
From the surface area.
I was gonna
That
find,
like takes away longer too.
I was gonna find the surface
And like we put
area.
all that work into it.
I was gonna find the surface area, and then I seen that it said
But Mr.
volume
Mayor,
of
do I get credit for all three of my formulas?
You want credit for all three of your formulas because you didn't follow directions?
Sure.
You gave that to me.
I got the formulas right. There.
I know I gave it to you once. No, not this time, I guess. Unfortunately. 8. A is 1/20th. B is 1/20th. C is 10 to 20 or 1/2 is how this simplifies. 10 over 20 or 1/2. D, an odd number, is also 1/2. E, a multiple of 5, is going to be 4 out of 20 or 1/5.
I got one before. Is that wrong?
F is 6 out of 20 or 3 to 10.
Can't see my good grade vaporizing before my eyes.
Yeah, me too.
And then I missed one. Good grief.
I can't help you with that at all. 9A, 960 cubic feet. B, 40 cubic yards. This is around the nearest 10. All right. 10, rational. 11, hypotenuse. 12, volume equals capital BH. 13A, 144 square inches. B, 9 square feet. 14A, 640 acres. B, 42,560 square feet. 15, 1.6 kilometers. B is 2.2 pounds. 16A, 32 fluid ounces. B, 0.125. 17A, 87.5%. B, 14. C, 16. D, 64. 18, diameter is 12 inches. The formula should be C equals pi D, pi times diameter. 19, 2.8 pints, B, 5/8 of a gallon. 20, A, $3.15, a new price of $31.85. 21, $80.48.
49.
You rounded up.
I too, I have 49 also.
Hang on.
You kind of erased my word.
That is unfortunate. It's hard to give you the answers for that.
Hey, what about
Oh,
19?
so hang on. I know what you did. I know exactly what you did. So you found 8% of 87.48 and you subtracted that from 87.48, correct?
Probably.
Yeah. They just multiplied by 0.92. So they subtracted the 8%. I'll give you that one. You can have that one.
Hey, and what about, so 19A, I didn't remember there's 10 for A. I don't know, it just didn't seem necessary. It's so perfect like that. It's in a corner.
But it says round from nearest 10. I just, your problems come from not reading directions, to be real honest. And it's kind of a common theme in this lesson, it seems. 22, the answer is -8.
I actually got it right.
Okay, me too, actually.
23. Next page, page 26. 23 is 16.5. B is 2/5.
I have 2.5.
For B?
Mm.
Afraid not. C is 2.259, with the repeating 259. The whole 259 is repeating.
Oh, okay,
I
so,
got that one wrong.
I got the whole problem.
so
I had the answer for, so like, I wrote 8 up there, but I have, so
Which
I
one?
have, for C, I have 2.258, but I have, like, down in the problem, I have it times 9. Like, okay, I'm not sure. In the problem, I have it times 9, but I just wrote 8 up there.
I'm gonna be bad at algebra when it comes to that.
That's where we're taking our time. You're trying to get it right. I don't know. I haven't been very merciful today at all. I don't know. Most of math is getting the right numbers in the right spots, though. That's the thing. So, call it on this one. I don't know if anybody else really understands it, and you might want to know where you did
Where did the what?
the percent.
No,
We
I
just-
haven't.
we did it backwards from what they did.
Where did I
It
do
doesn't
that?
matter.
That's
It was on 21.
Our fault.
Well, it doesn't really matter. You wound up with a partial cent difference and you rounded a different direction because you started from a different angle. All right, 24. Your answer is A equals 10. B, your answer is B equals the root of 150.
I got 75. B equals 75. I don't know how I got that,
It's wrong as hell, but
or
if B equals 150,
Wrong as hell.
so in the root of 150, it is.
I think I went 150 divided by 2.
Yeah, well, that's not what you were supposed to do. But the root is so much different than division by 2. All right,
Yeah.
C is C equals 15. Because the root is 225.
For
So
A, I have the root over the 10.
wait a minute. It's not the square root of 10.
I got like a bunch wrong because I came out like
So for 18,
2C.
oh,
Damn.
Like for 2C, I went x equals 72 without the nominal root. And I got like 2 wrong because I did that. I had like
Which one was that?
70. Like 2C,
70.
okay, I just went x equals 72.
Richard, do you think you have a 70?
I got a 70. Or like a 69 or something.
But the thing is that
Yeah.
root symbol is super, super important.
I know, it's just dumb.
That's the thing that
It's
we
like
have to
missing a
make sure
comma.
that yeah, commas save lives, so do root symbols. Yes.
So for 18, for my formula, I have 36,
Richard's name?
37.68, which is the circumference equals pi d.
Got 11.
Like, for
How
my
many did
formula.
you get?
Got 11 wrong. 10, 11, 12.
So then, yes, then you divide what you're going for.
15.
Yeah, I mean, I got it right. I just, for my formula, I have 37.68 equals pi d.
Yeah, that works. This is exactly.
Probably have like 4 wrong. So.
All right.
Maybe wrong. Me? Yeah.
I got 2 wrong.
Only you.
All right. 2 rounds to 96.
Uh-oh.
This is bad. 12 wrong.
Ooh, this is a 78.
That's bad. That's actually really bad.
That's not good.
11
Good
wrong.
one worse. 80.
81.
81.
I'd start out at 80.
I should have talked you through some of the things. I looked at the calculator, I was like, oh, this is an easy lesson. And then I forgot that the actual formula was.
He charged into the line in his spear race. He hurled it, misses completely in the line, bites off his leg.
We blame it on the teacher.
Well, you can blame it on teachers for one, I'm here for blame, but
Is that what you're here for?
fair.
He's like, yeah, you can blame it
I know.
All right, a new formula.
That's all we did need. Yeah.
But Mr. Kim, we literally just learned the cylinder one, and I can barely get those right.
This one's easier than this one.
I can't.
I don't
This
care.
is easier than the cylinder.
I could see how it would be, because it's only two formulas.
Don't
Yeah.
see how it can be easier.
Yeah, it's really easy.
It's not easy.
This one is easy.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
I mean, you remember what the
And
formula
you have
was.
another symbol to learn?
Yeah.
A little cursive L.
This is a-
That's really cool.
This is it's almost a calculus symbol. It's basically, it's not a letter,
Hey,
it just stands
Start
for.
using cursive letters and
Mr. Kenneth. So,
Actually,
are
a
you
great
doing
symbol.
calculus?
I'm still working on it, yes.
How far are you through it?
Not very.
So, in calculus, do
It's
you always
complicated.
use a calculator? Because
Yes,
it's calculus,
I do.
calculator.
Yeah, that's not so here's the reason. Well, unless it's something with a symbol, which actually a lot of problems are. But the reason that algebra is basically allowed completely to use a calculator is because most of their problems wind up. Right. The problem isn't necessarily the math
this is
of the issue. It's the formula and how to sort it out. So using the
next year I
calculator
can
doesn't
use my
speed anything
calculator
up, doesn't make
whenever I
anything
want.
better. Say what?
So, next year I can use my calculator whenever I want, or what?
Pretty much.
In,
Accounting.
Let's
in
go.
accounting, you're just allowed to use your calculator.
Pretty much.
Really? I might get good grades then.
You can always hope.
A little bit ago,
That's
we were
what
saying
it's
that I was gonna get 4th grade.
All right.
Yeah, it was in algebra.
So we have.
Wait, we're finding surface area? I thought we were talking about the volume.
Volume is much easier.
That's what I wanted
Volume
to
is easy.
Yeah. The volume is honestly just that.
You told us to
A
do
third?
that, we went and looked it up and got extra recess.
That's volume. But we're not doing volume. We're doing the much harder one, which is surface area. But it's not that hard. It's easier than than a cylinder because there's less problems. It's more
Sure.
consolidated. The thing is, the less algebra you have to do, the more chance you have of getting it right, is my theory. So, as long as you remember to keep everything straight, don't look at that formula. First things first, obviously, right?
A equals.
Area equals pi
Can you just do
r
number one?
squared, which is just,
3.
hang on, we'll walk through it and then we'll do number one. Okay, just be quiet for a second. First things first, you have to find the surface area of the base, right? So the surface area of the base is going to be just a standard circle surface area problem, right? Genius. Everybody knows how to do that. If you don't,
What? If we
What
don't.
happens?
I don't know. You'll have to learn.
Okay.
So that's the easy one. So there's only really one formula you're learning that's new. The formula you're learning is area equals, what is it, pi r, I think, L. Yes. So this L stands for one thing, okay? The slant height. So it's the height from the very tip down to the base. Should be easy, right? Excuse me.
Was that because you had a hiccup, or because you were laughing at what wasn't easy?
I had a digest.
He's gonna follow you.
Yes. CPR or something. All right.
You are on yourself.
No, you'll do CPR on me.
I don't think- I
Save
don't-
your teacher so we can get on with her.
I don't think we're gonna do
We'll call an ambulance and watch you.
Yeah.
We'll watch you.
Is he gonna make it? No, oh shucks. All right. So, for number one, the surface area of the circular bottom. This should be the easiest thing since the last time you did a circle.
And you radius of
Area?
r squared.
Equals pi r squared. All right, so pi is a constant, that would be 3.14
Times 9.
times 9, or is that 3 squared?
It's 3 squared, but not
3 squared.
We're going to 10 squared to start with, right? So we know that that is going to be, all right. So 3.14 times 9 is what? Somebody help me out.
28.26.
I think so. Yes.
20 what? 28.26.
Area
problem were you
equals
doing?
28.26. So that's the answer to number 1, the area of that circular base. That's the first thing you figure out.
Labels.
Yes.
Centimeter squared, right?
All right. So then all we have to do is find the curved surface area, right? Which will just plug it right into here. So we just go area equals pi. What's pi?
2.14.
2.14.
3.
What's the radius?
3.
Times the slant height, which is
8.
perfect. So we have area equals 3.14 times 24.
Times 20. Oh,
Are you arguing about math?
yeah.
Too bad.
Too bad. You're wrong.
Exactly. All right, what's our answer?
75.36.
Look at this one.
Is it 75.36?
It is. Other than messed up.
We can't trust our teacher. We're all sometimes
The last
trust
number
issues.
6. 3 times
Then you add that
2
two
is
together.
6.
Wow, this is amazing.
Oh yes, there's the problem.
Okay, that's
All right.
really easy.
Yeah, it is. So area equals 75.36. So
Then you add
Then you
the two
just
together.
we just mush them together.
So the
So the
curved
75
side is
36.
75.36.
This is the curved side, and then we add it to 28.26.
It should about be 103.62.
You're precisely correct.
Good job.
Remember your.
Is it
Remember your
cubed on the last one?
Is
it
it?
squared?
Yes, it's cute.
No, it's not.
It's not?
We're talking about surface area.
Yeah, we're not meant to volume.
Volume would be 3.
Let's do 4 in class.
Yeah, should be around.
It's a better idea of that.
Should we all?
I mean, skipping it, but other than that, I cannot think of anything.
Yeah, there's not really other good idea. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, there's a brilliant idea I have just right here. Okay, so we have this doohickey, what's it?
No, it's pi.
Or it isn't. All right. First things first. Leah,
What?
find me the area of the base. Cody.
3.14 times 2 squared.
Are we supposed to come up and do it?
Yeah.
Whoever puts it on the curve side
Yes, you'll do first.
right now.
I just use that for
He's up.
Please don't tell me you're doing that.
This one's for sure too.
What, did I help about that?
Shut up.
Oh, what?
That has me. Yep, it does.
She answered her own question.
Thank you.
Perfect. So is that 90? Hang on. No, it's not perfect.
Mine?
We have a problem with your maths. 3 times 1 plus 1 is not 5.
Could be.
Not this
You never
is
know.
94.2. So 94.2, then what do you do?
Add them together.
Say what?
Add them together.
Add them together to wind up with do number 4.
What's the answer for it?
Is it
it's
94.2 or 900?
Should be 100. It's 94.2. Should be 106.76.
That's a lot.
Hmm?
That's a lot.
What do you think?
For number 4?
Oh, for number 4? No, I didn't do number 4 for you. All right.
What was the answer for the other one?
106.76. That's what we said.
That's not the right answer for number 4.
That's the answer.
You have to figure out number 4 yourself.
That's
All right.
Oh, which one were we talking
The
about?
one we just did up on the board. I'm going to add those two numbers together. All right. Yes. So, number 5 in the review.
I just did one here.
You like those?
Not really, but I just did one.
Okay. I want to talk about actually number 6 and
Yeah.
number 5. To be real honest. Richard, I want you to do letter B up on the board.
For 5,
6B.
6B.
Oh, no.
And Chris, you're going to do 6C.
Oh, no.
Can I continue what you're saying?
No, I don't think so.
I,
What is W squared over 2?
W squared divided by 2
so it's
that
just
would-
W.
equals, W equals 32.
No, not W. Because you can't divide by 2 and make that go away.
So you
So
just,
W squared.
Hang on. Why don't we walk through all of these? All right, but first, Richard, come on up here. 42 equals -6 -2a squared plus 11. All right, so there's yours. Sort that one. Chris,
yeah.
start with the distributed
Where are you with this?
product. Take care of this whole situation over here. Chris, you're going to do R.
Is there a perfect square?
Plus
Is there a
2R
perfect square?
squared minus 50.
I wish. I didn't think it
Chris.
I know exactly what I'm doing.
No, so this is
was.
Lee.
Hard to do.
What?
yours. I feel like Cody's left out.
He used
No,
my.
I'm fine.
He is left out.
Yeah.
I think we'll find something for him to do here.
What plus 2?
But-
I'm feeling
What do you want
included.
me to do?
3.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is yours.
I don't know what to do with that little square though.
2. Don't you add 50 both sides?
First things first is you simplify it as much as possible.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, yeah, I'm
Me?
definitely getting this wrong. What? Still don't get it.
I mean, you're close to it, right?
That didn't look
Like
right.
how?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing
Okay,
now.
so for the way, how do you do division? This is your problem.
Multiply.
So multiply what?
2 times 2 times 2 times
You
2.
multiply both sides by 2, correct? That's where you start.
And so then those.
Right there's my answer. That looks real
Close.
close.
Close, but you don't have it exactly.
Is this, you need to go take him off?
No.
Oh, no.
How would you simplify r squared equals 17?
What? Very carefully, that's what you do.
No, you're almost done. You're just not quite done. Nope, you're not right. You're not done yet. Get rid of that little square thing. How do you get rid of the square? No, not that way.
Good job.
Try it different way.
Get rid of the square.
I don't know what to do at all.
Okay, I'm done.
I don't know how to get rid of squares.
R,
Yeah, I
Oh, I
think
think I know. They're in our book.
Oh, square root. No, square root of 64. Root, the root of 64.
Square. You have to.
You get a
Yeah.
square
You
root.
gotta root it.
Hey, is that answer right?
Yeah.
What's the square root?
This Christopher's right.
Oh,
Christopher's is correct now.
32.
Let's go. It's
R equals the root of 17.
32 times
Yours is
32
not.
is not, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
it's 8.
What's the root? Yes.
Oh, shit.
Not the root of 8. Hey. Yeah, come back here. Fix that. It's not the root of 8. is W equals 8.
We can
It's
have
very,
it now.
very, very super
Is that the answer
important.
for 6A?
6A? No, yes, that's 6A.
Okay.
I want you to work it out. Work it out. Leah doesn't have to work it out. She works it out.
Yes!
Okay,
I
you
don't
do
think
that.
I kind of worked it out.
Okay, just leave that up there.
Fine.
Richard! I have no idea how to
Okay.
do this.
Let me help you, Richard.
Mr.
So-
Kent, your head is in the way.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's an indirect
So
product.
make sure you have all the work. So let me start again. 42 equals -6
I have negative 4.
-2a squared plus.
I
Alright, so first things first, you started right here. So you have to, you have to multiply these. So you have -6 times -2a squared is going to be.
And then 12A squared.
And then you go -6 times 11.
Negative 3 plus
Going to
1.
be 66.
Remember how to do it.
And over here, we have precisely. Alright, so now we want to get rid of the 66.
Wait, what's it?
Add 66 to both sides.
Yes, this is what we're What?
Alright, now what do we do?
Do you
No, not yet. What does 12a squared mean?
I don't know.
Wait,
It's 12A squared.
close. But it means, if there's no symbol between them, what does it mean?
Then equals that?
Equal less.
Think about this. How would we simplify this and this thing right here? How would we simplify that?
Divide both sides by 4.
No clue. Oh, yeah, you would. I was
Both sides
too
by
far
four.
for I like it.
Simplification.
I know, but there's
So- This thing means nothing at this point. We're going to talk about them later. So now you have to get rid of that.
It's negative 12A squared.
Should be.
No, it's a negative 6.
Because you multiply two negatives
yeah, I
together.
did- I did not see
So wait, negative. What's 9 times 12?
Negative 2 is 12.
And divide by 12. No, wait. 9 times 12 equals. I can't remember.
I did that first.
So you gotta remember.
9A
No, no, no,
squared.
no, 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 no. Write down your equal sign. You can't leave him out.
Okay, then you just
We
go.
just did up here.
Yeah,
Why do they give us such stupid
So
problems?
now
And now.
Now then you
it's
just square root
multiplied
them
on
both.
this side. So you bring them down.
Wow, that's amazing.
Now.
Then the
And so
answer
on.
is 3.
Right. Exactly. 3 equals A.
I have a. Oh yeah, actually.
how will we get
Or
this
A
done?
equals.
When are we supposed to work those out?
Richard, yeah, you have to, everybody has to work those out except for the person that comes before them. I don't have one for you, Cody, unfortunately.
You can make one up.
I'll do one later.
I'll
I don't
make
have-
one
I
up
don't
for
have
him.
time.
I'll make one up for him.
So, he gets off the hook.
Oh, you always let one.
That's because he gets better grades than that.
Prejudice.
Prejudice, yeah.
So I feel like he could probably survive. Pure prejudice.
That's a good saying. That's good. I gotta figure out their problems too. I
Yes.
still have no idea how.
This was nice short lesson.
I can do the big thing.
How?
What's on the board? How much work did it produce the board?
Alright, we lost, we just don't have time to check right
Oh, good.
now. Hand in your books.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you want to get started on today's lesson? I'm gonna have it on 6 and
Yep.
Well, okay, actually, you know what? I have all my work right here
But I need help on
and all my things. So, is it a universal law that you have to subtract first then divide? So why do we do that? Why do we subtract first then divide?
Simplifying problem, you have to get your coefficient, you have to get your variable by itself. When you get your variable by yourself, you have to work backwards through the laws. How do you do that?
So is it a law, pretty much?
Yeah, so you get rid of your subtraction and addition. So the order of operations in equation is exponents, parentheses, multiplication and division, addition, subtraction, right?
So we go backwards.
You go backwards when you're simplifying, you go backwards. So when you're solving, you go forwards, when you're simplifying, you go backwards. So that means you do addition and subtraction, multiplication and division. Parentheses actually happen first.
Are you like, can I just tell you what I have in 6? Because
I can, yeah, you can.
and 1 equals negative 3 raised by the
You're really close.
Why do you have a negative under 3?
Well, okay, let's talk. 5x minus 2y equals 6.
I think that's more on negative thinking. That probably just helps me.
5x minus 2y equals 6. All right. So we're solving for y, correct?
Yeah.
So first things first, we're going to get rid of the x. So that means we're going to do
Subtract
5x goes over here.
5. Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we have negative 2y equals 6 minus 5x.
So now you divide 3.
Divide by 3, yeah.
Divided by negative 2. Y
Three minus negative
negative 3. 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3.
Is it plus?
Negative plus
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know if I should.
5x. They actually have this switched around because of the rules they've been making up where the variable goes first. So that y equals 5x over 2 minus 3, which saves on paper. That's the order they have it. But if you have negative 3 plus 5x over 2, that's the same situation as
And then number 8, it's a bunch of, okay. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and you're looking for a b.
So do they mean it has to be just a B or a B
you can just be.
You left me
Well, all the squares
said I
cancel
would
each other
subtract a and a.
No, they don't. You don't cancel each
Can
other.
I subtract a?
Subtract
Squared.
a squared from each side.
Yeah. Okay, now,
B squared equals C squared.
now if you square both sides, like in a little box, or root it or whatever.
So this is what we wind up with. Wind up with b equals c squared minus a squared.
I wasn't sure if your a squared, your c and your a should still be squared though.
Right. So technically speaking, so here's the reason we leave it under the radical. The reason we leave it under the radical is because we don't actually know for sure that there's going to be, that the root is going to come out evenly, and it probably won't, right? And in the end, what this winds up with is an approximation anyway in this sort of situation. Because we can't guarantee, well, basically, yeah, it's because we have this subtraction problem in here, right? I guess is what it winds up being. And that's why we can't root it yet, because we still have subtraction here. You can also write it like this, I guess. No, you can't. All right. Yeah, sure. I want to check part of that. I want to check the new stuff from yesterday. So that's going to be 1 through looks like 8.
9.
9. 1 through 9. All right. So number 1 is C over P equals D. Number 2 is A over L, I guess, because it's existing. A over L equals W. It's actually not L.
No? What's that now?
Well, it's fine. It's not one.
What is it?
It means slant. It is a
So they just
That
cursive
was
one.
function.
Was that one of those cursive things?
Needs some, I mean, you should hold that. Basically, if they have a funny symbol, try to hard credit when you give them a plus. 3 is b equals bh over 3.
What is it?
My bad, I'm sorry. 3b over h equals b. I read it wrong. 3b over h equals b. 4 is I over PR equals T. 5 is 2A over B equals H. 6, 2x plus 8 over Y equals Y. 2x plus 8 equals Y. 7, Y equals 3 minus 2x. 8, x equals 3 minus Y over 2.
Minus Y?
3 minus Y over 2. What do you have, plus?
No, I don't think.
3y.
Just 3Y.
9. E over R equals I. And then the 34 to 39. 34 is AP equals F. A times B is AP equals F. 35 is ME minus KE equals P. Wait.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, 36. X equals negative 2y plus 36. I just feel like if you get rid of those e's and stuff, maybe you can't. 37. Y equals 5x over 2 plus 3. 38. H equals 2b over I r squared. 39. B equals 2a over h.
Is 37 exactly the same as what we just did?
Y equals 5x over 2 plus 3.
Oh, no.
All right. Math lesson. Took too long for all the fun equations.
It's only 24 problems.
Good.
If you're done, I'm done, they're easy.
All right, so what they're saying is there's 6 steps of an equation, and basically they're trying to teach you how to use those 6 steps. So see the 6 steps down there on bottom 57. It says label the unknowns and represent the values. Set up the equation using the labels. This is starting from scratch without a verified equation at all, right? So label the unknowns, represent the values. Set up the equation using the labels. Replace the labels with algebraic equivalents. Simplify and solve the equation. Substitute the solution. Find numerical values and check. So, we'll start here. We'll go through these 4 steps. Well, these 6 steps one at a time. The reason we left this a short lesson otherwise is because of this. All right, so the number 1 is Stephen planted 7 fewer acres of corn than Russell. Together, they planted a total of 73 acres. How many acres each plant? Use X for Russell acres. So, basically, what we have to do, we have to start with Russell. Figure out a variable for Russell's acreage. So Russell's acreage is how much?
That's X.
X. Stephen's acreage is
X minus 7.
Which one is it? How does it say it? Does it say
7 fewer.
7 fewer acres? So that's
So
good right
7
there.
minus X.
X
X minus
Yeah.
7.
I never know.
Russell's acres, so we're going to want 7 less than Russell. So X minus 7. That's what we're shooting for. And what's the final part of the equation?
Together they're planting 73.
All right. So basically we'll set it up like this. So first we will represent them algebraically, and we'll write it like this. Russell's plus Stevens equals 73 acres, right? Perfect. So, now we'll finish our equation. So these are the first two steps, right? In order to label the unknowns and represent them algebraically. That's the first step. Second step, set up the equation using labels instead of numbers. And then replace the labels with the algebraic equivalents. So that's our next step. So what we're going to do this is x plus, we'll put him in parentheses, x minus 7 equals 73. Right? So now we just solve, right? The fact of the matter is we have
X squared.
2x. Do not multiply them,
What
just
is it?
add it to each other.
They all.
See, 2x's plus.
Yeah.
Do not multiply, so it's 2x minus 7 equals 73. What's our next step?
Minus, add 7 on both
Add
sides.
7 to both sides. That gives us, all right,
And then you divide both sides.
40.
40.
So Mr. Kenton,
yes.
objection. Why didn't you do your X and your 7 together? Because it's not distributive property.
Right, it's not a distributive property. If it was a distributive property, you wouldn't have an addition sign here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just, we just put this guy, we just put Stephen in parentheses just to show that he's in parentheses separate, right? So this is our, that's our answer. Now, we're still missing a part.
Yeah.
Oh, how many acres would each plant?
So basically, we know that well,
Basically, you could divide it into 20.
hang on, no. So here's the deal. Russell planted, at this point, we know that Russell planted 40 acres, right? So this is what we're doing at this point. So we go Russell planted 40 acres. Stephen planted 40 minus 7, which is
33.
Yeah.
right. So now we check this, right?
Yeah, you add those together.
So we check this, we throw them into our equation. So we start back here and we basically just work our equation out again. This winds up taking a lot of scrap paper. All right? So first we put Russell down, he's 40. Then we put Stephen down, he's 33.
Minus 7.
What? No.
Oh, yeah.
73.
Yes, I see.
Equals 73. All right? And then that is 73 equals 73. Okay, everything's happy. We're good.
So
Checked out.
that's, so you're right, Russell planted 40. And
Russell planted 40, Stephen planted
33.
33.
And that's what you're right.
That will be what we're looking for. That's the answer. All right, let's do the second one. Go over in the neighborhood. All right, so we have the sum of 3 consecutive even numbers is 120. All right? So, what's our first step?
First
So,
integer,
first integer.
X.
All right. Second.
X
No, they're even numbers.
plus 2.
X plus 2. Right, consecutive even numbers. And
X plus 4.
x plus which?
4.
X plus 4. So these are consecutive even numbers. They're really like saying 2, 4, 6, right? In this case. So they're consecutive even numbers. The sum of them is. Right, so what's the second step for equation? Using labels, right? So we'll set it up like this. First, second plus third equals 120, correct? All right, so we'll now change those. We'll go x plus 2. Here again, we're just putting these things in parentheses to keep everything straight. Plus x plus 4 equals 120. All right, so now we have to simplify it. How would we simplify this thing?
X cubed, 3x.
No, we're adding these x's.
2x. 3x.
3x with 3x's. Perfect.
And then you subtract 6 on the side.
114.
What's our answer?
I'll read it.
You need your calculator as well.
38.
38. So, the first number, so now we're on the third step, fourth step.
What's that? No,
Now we need to, now we're ready for our answers, which, so we know the first, actually, let's go over here. First is 38, second is,
40.
and the third,
42.
42. Okay. So now we can punch these into our equation and check it. All right, so how do we do that?
38 plus 40 plus 42. 78 plus 78. Yeah.
Perfect. So this then will be the answer you write down. Versus 38 seconds, 42. This seems to be confusing. Yeah. How should I simplify that? This is the reason they were telling us before to use parentheses to separate out your different things, right? But the thing you have to remember is that when it's adding them together, you can just, at this point, we can just take these parentheses out as well. That's just for setting them apart from each other. The parentheses are not necessarily confusing. They're just supposed to try to keep things separate. But if there's an addition sign between them, it seems to realize there's an addition sign between them. Or the addition, yeah. If there's no multiplication, it doesn't matter. There's no distributive property. All right, for number 3, how would we set that up? What would be our first step?
They will be unknown.
So they will be unknowns, so that they are.
First equals X.
Second is, the sum of the first and last of 3 consecutive numbers is 64. All right, so the number, there's 3 consecutive numbers, which means we have.
3.
You just go X, or first.
So the first number is X, second one is.
X plus 1.
Right, and the
Third
second.
one is X plus
Right. So those are your labels. X, X plus 1, X plus 2. Those are your 3 consecutive numbers. All right? So, basically the way we're going to set this up then is how we're going to set up our equation.
I'm not sure why
in
they
this
did that,
situation.
Jeff. Why did they put the first and the last?
So here's the deal. So you don't have to worry about the second one at all. If they don't mention the second one, you don't have to worry
You
about
just
it.
get rid of it.
No, in your equation, you get rid of it. You still have to know it for your final answer. All right? So, we're going to set that up. We have X and X plus 1 and X plus 2, right? So we have our first, okay, so what is it, what's our, how would we set up our equation?
Which one are we doing?
First plus second plus third, or you get rid of your
First plus
second?
third.
Did it talk about the second?
Oh, no, it doesn't. So
The
you
first
did
plus
it.
third.
So you say the first plus the third
Yeah.
Equals 64.
equals 64. All right. So hang on, let me get rid
No,
of this.
X plus X plus 2.
Right. So then here we go X plus, and then bring this down, X plus 2 equals 64. Perfect.
But
Now-
should X plus 2 be in parentheses?
Well, it could be, doesn't have to be. So the thing is, it doesn't change the way you operate this.
Yeah, so 2X. It's 2X, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be 2X.
X. Right?
Why?
You have to use it. Or is it just 2?
It does, pretend these parentheses in here.
Okay.
They're messing you up.
2.
Yeah, it's just gonna be 2X plus 2.
Equals 64.
The only reason those parentheses are there is to separate the fact that this is its own little doohickey going on here. They have no, they serve no function.
Minus 2 on both sides.
Alright,
And maybe 62.
okay, you can figure out the rest of it yourself. Then remember to list your,
So you have x
Your
and
three.
31. First equals
so
31.
x equals 31. You want to do it?
What?
Alright, so that means your first one is 31, your second one is,
32.
and your third one is.
32.
Right.
What's the right of that?
Yes, they want the second one as well. It's just that you didn't need to use the equation to figure out, I mean,
You didn't
basically,
need it to figure it
How-
out.
you didn't need it to figure it out.
What was it again? I have first
Okay, so hang on, the first one is what?
31.
These are what kind of numbers? Huh?
I had first.
They're called consecutive numbers, right? What does that mean?
Well, it's part after another.
Right. So the first one is x, right? The next one is x plus 1. The next one is x plus 2. That means that the first one is 31. Next one is,
32.
next one is,
32.
right. Those are your three consecutive numbers. First is 31, second is 32, third is 33. You have, I mean, basically you have to figure out what x is, and at that point you can figure out what the is. And now check it. That's the sixth step. Plug those numbers in.
But the only ones you have to check are the first and third.
Right, those are the only ones you have to plug into your, those are the only ones you have to plug back into your equation.
So,
All right, give me the variables for number 4.
That's X versus X.
x plus 3,
Okay.
and x plus 6, and x plus 9.
There's no x plus 9.
Is
There's
that-
3 consecutive
There is
multiples.
x one.
There's 3 consecutive multiples of 3, so counting the 3.
Then you go X.
Wait, if the first one is x plus 3,
That would be 3.
the next one is x plus 6. Is there just a plain x?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one is x.
So X plus.
The first variable is always x, and then they're doing multiples of 3, so the next one is going to be x plus 3. The third one is going to be x plus
Second plus the third
6.
equals whatever it is. 108.
Right, so then you get first plus the second plus the third is 108, and then you substitute. Right.
So is it 33? X equals 33.
Yes. And then your variables are,
And then second equals 36.
and the third is,
38.
do 22 and then your choice on how you do 24. Any further questions? It is time for recess. Seems to be. Be Richard's turn.
Sometimes I want to play touch football. It'd just be fun.
Hey, Mr. Clinton, number
That's not
5.
fun to me. I'm weird.
Is the width 30 and the length
I
18?
guess it's different like
I have the width at 45.
You're wrong. Yeah. Okay, what are your variables coming out to be, Lisa?
I have, for the first one is 45.
No, hang on. But you're starting at the beginning. You're going to represent them as
W,
W is the width, length is
W minus
no,
Is it backwards?
no. Read over that question again and figure out what the length is supposed to be.
Twice, 14.
What?
Twice
Twice what?
width.
Twice the width. Not twice 7. Twice the width.
Twice the width.
Minus 7.
So 2W minus 7.
Yes. That formula again.
Where'd you get this? Out of school, right?
Say what?
Out of school, right?
I actually got it from William and Michelle, who happen to have massive rock collections. Not sure.
Well, that's not
Is this their whole rock collection? Or they have like how many more rocks?
I have no clue.
They just have tons.
They just have rocks. If you need rocks, talk to William and Michelle. That's a dye, I'm pretty sure. Because if it was actually purple, it would, I think this would be referred to as amethyst inside there. But like you see, you can look back in there and you can see there's light going on. Which just reminds me of, yeah, that's good. So this right here is also geode. Some of those hollow rocks hasn't been opened. You can tell when you shake it.
That is weird.
So it's like,
Mr. Kent,
it's
did
like
your
this
diamond
thing.
come
You
yet?
crack it.
It's supposed to come this afternoon. So this is a geode. It has the silicates inside it. That one also is untested correctly.
Weird. She cracks it.
That's a no. And I'd love to do that. That's just cool. So perfect. It comes from together. Is Chloe playing record? Best song for this. Everybody's got to take their turn.
It's almost, I don't know, it's kind of cold.
Let's go outside and
Should
check.
we just play free?
That's my soccer.
You're welcome.
People paint gold white.
Hey, what are we playing?
Which one are you on?
Like 2 numbers off.
It's fresh out there. I'm gonna play volleyball.
Making team.
Hmm?
You're making team.
I haven't made any teams yet.
Which one make team?
Well, get Cody to help me. He's pretty good at it.
Let's do boys. Let's go like boys, girls. Yeah. Team boys, team girls.
Okay.
Team cooler.
That's so awesome.
Not like that, but it's close.
Whatever. That's words.
Okay.
I was supposed to make teams, but I don't know how.
I don't know. So you just have to start out with somebody.
You should make them fairly fair without missing. But you should try to.
Okay, I'll put myself there. And
Ooh, what's that?
let's
I don't know.
put Chris here.
No.
Okay, now you have to put 2 names out.
I don't know.
Me either, so I just first. Now you put Mr. Canton.
We'll put Mr. Cannon on team and
Mr. Amy on one.
Mr. Amy. Good. Who's on for now? Mr. Amy.
Mr. Amy. Do I get Hutchie on there? I don't know.
No,
Well, like,
you did. I'm not. You know, I never helped make volleyball teams in my life.
okay, there's one more boy.
There you go.
Yeah, one more boy.
Yeah, it'd be Richard.
Oh, okay.
We're actually gonna go somewhere.
Okay.
Richard can just be a bystander.
Richard.
I'll be just a bystander.
No, it's not.
You are volleyball.
And then reaching away from us.
And then
Z. I have a plan. I wanted to be a tree. See, I couldn't get the whole message down. I was going to quit writing.
wait, that was our team's. We picked it and then
They worked well then.
Yeah, you better put Lisa on this team because if Miss Amy doesn't play, then we're pretty lost. We tried that before, it doesn't really play.
That was pretty good. Let's go.
I can't remember. Photographic memory for the
You got it. Remember.
It's cold inside.
It's brisk out there. Hey?
You got it.
So it is typing for high school, Bible for WD. Close enough.
I'm assuming
Richard?
Yeah, I did.
I was writing it like this. I was trying to experiment on a new way of writing it.
Yeah, see how it works. So high school, you should be typing, and 8th grade you have Bible, and then we're going to have something else for it. Trouble.
You guys are gonna go splunky. Spelunky.
Who is?
Are you sure? No. No.
When are we going to Spelunky and doing what?
We're not. That was just Christy.
Okay.
Fine.
I'm glad.
Good and solid. I have one of those too. They're like, I fell on the spear and tried to spear something with my brother.
they're fake. How did you guys figure out number 5?
Like this was
That's
the
the
one. It might
Okay,
be
the number 23 on computer.
Hey, what's the answer for number 18, Richard?
I feel like it's against something.
I probably did too.
I'm just going to 4. That looks easy. No? Hey, who's Artie? I think on that.
We got that, like that little play, yeah, like, little apples.
That
Um,
one's kind of cool.
So this is also a geode.
Poor Mr. Walter.
Is he
He just slapped his left hand. Yeah, listen to
What
that.
did you do?
He let him pass past the
Crystals
goal.
working around inside. Very beautiful. Very cool.
Okay, this one's the coolest, and then the
You
rest.
can tell it was like slow.
What's the
I don't
coolest
know.
and the rest?
Also kind of,
I like
It's
the
a
little
desert rose.
I like all the little spines on it.
also kind of into the old basalt.
This tiny little like that's kind of weird. Yeah, but this is really cool.
Yeah, that is that like a petrified egg?
It's a fossil.
It's not. I was just an egg. They carved an egg. Like that apple. No, this is the apple. This is like
That's
Adam's
kind of
a bit awkward. If I had to pick, that's why it's hard. Which was coolest if you want to be.
Hey, Mr. Kent, I need help.
I mean, these ones are
Okay.
cool, but they're like
Check this
not.
one out.
They're not.
You feel
This is cooler than you think.
Why?
Because the light sheds
Lots of rocks.
This is
are like
very
that.
cool.
Did someone
Maybe
break
that was an
this?
agate because of the way.
That's sketchy.
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, look at
Cool.
the road.
It's another person.
This one is just.
Oh yeah. I'm a magician.
Yeah, who is a magician? Look at this.
Ta-da!
All right, people, do your things.
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't know what you're.
Yeah, but you don't have to.
Oh.
8th grade, when you're done, I have another project.
Oh, with Bible?
With Bible.
Okay, well, I'm done with Bible, so what's the
Not
project?
ready for it yet.
My son was gonna do that. I just had teacher and that everything from their own doing that. Do what you-
What do you think?
I don't know. I no idea.
So, who were they more afraid of, Jesus or the Romans?
They're Roman.
Are you sure?
I doubt that.
Okay, so what did they think? What did they think the Romans would do to them?
Break down or whatever.
Yeah, that's
Sanhedrin or whatever it was.
Right. So the Sanhedrin wasn't a building; it was just a group of people.
No,
But yeah, they were afraid they'd take the Sanhedrin and separate them and chase them out of their country. Right? That's what they were afraid the Romans would do. What did they figure Jesus would do?
Yeah.
Well, get everybody for him or get everybody for Jesus.
So they were afraid that what would be the result if people followed Jesus in their minds?
Then the people, everybody following Jesus, the Romans are following the Sanhedrin.
Man.
Mr. Ken?
Hang on a second, I'm still working on this.
30. Yeah, it is.
Makes sense? Good.
I don't know, I have no idea, I cannot, yeah.
What's the result of people following Jesus for the Sanhedrin?
It would like, nobody would be there, so they'd be worthless.
Nobody would listen to the Sanhedrin anymore because, I mean, it's kind of technically, right? So these are the two things we have going on. They have the Sanhedrin, they have Jesus fighting them from the inside and the Romans fighting them from without.
So
That was their view of it. But what they were afraid of is that if there was too much of a revolution and if things changed too much and they couldn't control the people, that the Romans would be like, well, you can't control the people anyway, so we're just going to.
So that's the answer, basically.
I mean, you can consolidate that.
So, like, basically, the Roman.
So in the end, they were afraid that Jesus would take away their power over people.
Okay.
And the result would be that they would be powerless and then the Romans would take away their power. Would take away what they had left. So it was a two-part problem they had going on.
They're taking away their power over people, and then, what was the other one you said?
So what's the
And
result?
Romans would dissolve.
Right, and then the Romans would dissolve the Sanhedrin completely. Because the Sanhedrin was only there. The purpose of the Sanhedrin was kind of a buffer between the Romans and the Jews,
Yeah.
because we need to have some Jewish influence on these laws that we're making against the Jews.
And then, what do you think meant 100% for the Sanhedrin to turn people against Jesus? Wasn't it Lazarus' resurrection?
That was a part of it, for sure.
Huh?
That was a part of it, for sure.
And then, what
What did Jesus do to make people like him?
Well, no, he taught them. That was really
And
he did miracles.
what kind of miracles?
I don't know, raise people from the dead.
And he didn't just raise people from the dead; he healed them and took care of them and fed them. And that was something that's, I mean, if somebody gives you food and makes you feel better, it's going to be hard for you to hate that person, for sure.
He healed people, Lazarus' resurrection, and whatever else.
I mean, just think about that for a little bit. If I had a severe illness and somebody healed me, it'd be hard for people to convince me. I hate that person. Richard and Chris, can you go over to the auditorium and grab the folders, the song folders? All of them.
Every single
We need
thing.
them. Say what?
Every single thing.
All folders, yes. We have a song to add onto it.
Yes, sir.
That one has another one, actually.
Who got those out there? Who put them out there?
The servant's son?
I
Mom
went
made
and
me
built it
copy
there.
it.
They're putting it online.
Mom made me copy it. She wanted to see.
Yeah,
It's got all my handwriting on it.
I might have to make some more copies of it.
Yeah, because I had the Alto's notes down.
Should bring along here.
Yeah.
Now you can get this one back. It's the numbers. Can you just skip it?
Numbers are so.
They are, but they're worthwhile.
I said that last one. You take it to February 1st.
I just started completely opening
I feel
You're
like
doing, yeah.
that's not the worst idea.
I know, because see, I just.
I wish I had a way to put keycaps on this for you, so you can see what's on
I have 3 more. I have to finish 3 more. And then I'm done 30 words a minute. And that's the highest I left.
That'd be the instrumental for my papers.
Well, see, no, the thing is, so that's the way I started. That's the way I started typing. Is looking at the keyboard. Didn't even think I was.
That's how you ended?
No. my teacher, I complained mightily. Got some keyboard caps, some blank caps, and put them on the keyboard.
That would be
Couldn't
so
see a
annoying.
thing. You could feel the placement spots with your fingers, but you couldn't see a key. And it was
So you just
really,
have to guess.
that's what helped me. That's what helped me be able to type. But by the time I was done with typing, I was at 65 words a minute or something.
I have to type.
And I was low in my class. Like there was one of the girls got, she was given 105 or something.
A minute.
Yeah.
That is.
Like this is 1 minute time and I have to type that all out and it goes through the day.
I know that's more.
And
That's a lot.
Do you have 1 minute to type that?
Yeah, I'm legit 1 minute.
I can, actually, I can.
And it goes
tap
through
the
the
that fast.
see, no, the thing is, you have to you have to know instinctively where your fingers are supposed to go. But you can't look at the keyboard. Looking at the keyboard slows you down. It's the same as counting the sharps and flats to figure out what the key of something is.
I remember-
It slows you down.
Go down and Fat Boys.
And from then on, it's just.
I remember 4 of them like Fat Boys the Apple.
All I'm saying is
I
that's
have
what
to
slows
remember
you
what's
down.
out of the
is
apple and
figuring
seed.
it out. Figuring it out slows you down.
I really want to try
And
doing
I
that.
really suffered on my number typing because I could never nail that down until I started working in an office where I needed to all the time. And then I started figuring it out slowly but surely.
Yeah, that was.
Mr. Can create key. I am so confused.
Number 16.
Yeah.
Me too.
I don't know what to write.
Oh, me either. I don't know what 16 is.
I'm gonna get good.
It says, what do you think Jesus meant by these words? Whoever shall seek his life shall lose it, and whoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. Read John 12:25 also. And so I read that, and it doesn't make any sense.
Ricardo, is this yours?
Yes.
Team Cool and Team Awesome.
Just erase that, guys.
No.
It was a great.
So what do you think he meant?
I don't know.
Where would you start?
I read
At the
John.
beginning.
Richard, be quiet. I read John 12:25, and that didn't help me very much.
Hey, Richard, set up a system here.
Set up a system.
Figure out a system. These things only put a bunch. These also have a number on them.
Hey, Grace can put them in a pencil board because.
No, I'll punch a hole in you.
Oh, these have no sleeves. They have no sleeves.
Oh, yeah.
So now we point at the operation.
Oh.
Well, so the servant song here looks like it's separate. I need to make chunks of it once.
There you go like this, see?
You can't do the whole thing.
You can't?
No, it's not. Hole puncher.
See if you can get that in there.
This whole bunch.
He who
Stand on it to get it done.
Is it like we need to let Jesus save our life or something like that?
Okay, so then, how about the line, he who loses his life for my sake shall preserve it? What is
So,
that?
if you get killed for doing something for God,
For Christ's sake.
for Christ's sake, then that's
You'll have eternal life in heaven.
Right. He's talking about it from a little different level. But that's generally the way that's where this direction he's going.
Yeah, I'll write the numbers on
He's, so when we give up our lives to God, we're giving up our life. We're giving ourselves up and our selfishness and our greed and all of our human
Okay, give me a
wants.
marker. You'll see my ugly handwriting.
Try to do it nicely, yeah.
There's a nice marker.
All of our human life and wants and everything has to fall in relation.
We'll get like two really nice.
Is this what you're looking for? In relation to.
and here's another one.
No, another one like that. You have one like that?
So if you try to hold a little bit back, everything that you hold back, you're trying to save your life. You're trying to preserve this little shell that you have, and you're not going. That's just going to keep.
What
it
side
back.
do we write them on?
Put it on the right top.
Just what number?
That table's too small. Yeah, right here.
9, 63 looks like.
63, that's the number.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sometimes.
This is not even.
Were you allowed to write sometimes?
Well, yeah, I know. I just
Like,
like
you're just trying to convict us here. That's all we're trying to do.
I
It's
just
like,
like
do you always wish for more or better sports equipment or games?
No, no,
And
I
stuff.
don't. I don't wish for that.
I just
I do.
I just
Not for sports equipment. Not for sports.
I don't really.
Not for sports equipment and games, but for like hunting stuff and other kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, it should be in there because.
Do I grumble about the way my lunch tastes?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's like so dumb.
Alright, of course.
You should write a horse on all of them.
I don't even know
You
what
brother, what?
Oh, yes, and yes, I do.
It's like, do I grumble about how much homework I have?
Yes.
And I just wrote, no, I don't have any homework.
Are you grateful for your clothes and shoes? No.
No.
Would you rather just run around and start?
Do you murmur about tasks such as washing dishes and carrying out trash? Guys,
No, I don't.
of course I will.
Yeah.
I don't remember, I speak. Yeah.
I put out a howl.
Yeah.
Mr. Ken, you're just giving us dumb yes and no questions.
Yeah.
Are you glad for the restrictions and rules your parents give you?
No.
I put no on that one.
Yeah,
Honestly.
Do I have to be honest?
Yeah, of course.
We don't.
I was honest and I don't want anybody else to read it.
Yeah. I don't really care because
Actually, you guys probably are all about the same.
the problem is most of mine are yes, yes, yes. Actually, all of them so far yes.
You grumble when you're called to
Am I thankful
Yeah.
for the health I have?
I never do.
Yeah, I don't wanna go to
get
the
out of bed.
doctor.
That's
Yeah.
because my
Well-
alarm clock makes me so.
For some of them, I just put yes, no.
Try to keep it going.
Did I do the right thing, man?
Yeah, they're really ugly. Just a true pro to get as ugly as church song.
Taylor, you can put all of them on.
Great, great. Thank you. You're welcome.
How many left do you have?
No.
Oh, I'm looking.
I won't even try to.
I get my L's on my face and stuff.
Job time.
Are you done?
Yep.
I'm done too.
Rich.
That's easy for you.
Alright.
What?
Oh no.
Canary. Here.
Go in.
Right like this.
Yeah,
Stick
it's
that
not-
ball in there.
No.
And we're good.
That's not going to help you. Yeah, it's gonna be a journey.
Ugh. Y'all just fell on the ground. Yeah.
I can't even open the thing that I'm supposed to get at to open up. That doesn't make sense.
Hey, can we just do our normal work? Here, take all of it. I only want like 2 or 3.
I'm so generous, sorry.
No. I'm generous. Oh, there they are. No matter which one you see.
Should I help them?
It kind of does.
Like this?
Does that work?
Yeah, so the way I want this.
Like this, this is right
I want.
there. You just go put the things in, you stick them
Opening
in.
on the top. Opening on the top, number on the right.
Like this.
Yes, like that.
Like
Opening on
this,
the
you're
top.
saying. Dude, they're all mixed around, they're all different.
There, Chris. Probably comes from dropping them before.
Probably, yeah.
So you get the ribbon on the left, want your number on the top right.
Hey, listen, why did we poke all these holes in them? You know,
I didn't realize that they. I forgot that they had that. They had the other part, so. Oh, well.
Hole punching was not what was fun for it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, help them out, please.
Do we get lots of karma points for this?
I'll give you 2 karma points. Is that good?
What's it? What kind of points is that?
I don't know.
Oh, we could,
Karma is kind of like,
after we do this,
You
we
expect
can make
what you get from
those
it.
cinnamon finger things
Deeper.
from readings. Whatever
These
they
things are
are.
slippery.
That's for this afternoon.
Yeah,
it takes
those
me
are.
like 5 minutes to get one corner of the thing.
They're always
Well, and
slippery.
they're slippery on the inside
Alright.
too.
Everybody starts like in 86. For the record.
If you don't have to talk while you're doing it. finish the one you're on there, and then we'll do language arts. Finish the one you're on there, and then we'll do language arts. We'll just kind of keep doing these. I hope to have them done by
Mr. Can I
tomorrow
have
or the
like
next
4
day.
more left? And just quickly.
No, just put them up.
Yeah, we're like little. We are really done. We've got like 2 left up here.
I have 4.
Let's just go get them done.
Finish them later. This time right now, do it. We also have to put them in the folder, yeah, and that's it. It's more time than sleeves. So. Subject and verb agreement. We'll fill up. All right, so we're still talking about subject verb agreements as if we can't get over this little detail. Oh, by the way, we'll talk about that here in a minute. No, we're not. We're going to talk about it right now. What's a transitive verb?
Has a
You're
receiver
right.
for the action.
Say what?
Has a receiver for
Okay,
the
so it is what kind of verb?
action.
Transitive verbs are always action verbs. Yes, and it has a receiver for the action. And an intransitive verb,
It does not have a receiver.
what kind of verb is it?
Action.
Linking.
Action.
Linking.
No, it's still action. Linking verb is that's a whole different ball of wax. All right. So,
All wax.
yes. And you could say, so, we love action verbs. One is transitive, one is intransitive. Leah, which one is intransitive?
The one.
Right. Has no receiver. Eating solemnly, but, yeah. And so, all right. Subject verb agreement. So we've been talking about subject verb agreement a little bit before. Such as, oh, by the way, what's a non-essential? Of course, as a paperback.
Just you cut out of sentences.
Right. A sentence is the same with or without it. I mean, usually they help add some interest, but. So we've been talking about pronouns and antecedents agreeing with each other, and I think we were talking about verbs and subject-verb agreement for a while, but we're going to talk about a different aspect of subject-verb agreement, and that is compound subjects. All right, like this one, for instance. And then this one, I feel like we're writing that out, so I'm going to participate rule here. All right. So, subject for each one of these is what?
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Spaghetti and meatballs for that one. And the subject for the other one. Eighth grade in high school, yes. So those are your subjects. Now, here's the deal. Is this, because it's referring to one dish or one thing, is singular. Right? So we need to use a singular verb. So what do we say?
Are.
Is.
Is. Are is plural. Alright? Spaghetti and meatballs is okay. And that's a little fishy because meatballs is plural. But it is one dish. Same you could say macaroni and cheese is. It's one, you find it in one dish on the table. So it's one thing. Alright? The next one.
Are.
Wait, what did
It's
you write out
are.
there?
This is singular. This, you need a plural because you're talking about two separate things. All right? Two separate groups of people. You need a plural verb because of that. There are some interesting, well, I'll go like this. So, if I would say the writer and illustrator of that book is and are we'll call him Samuel Edwards. That's good enough. Ooh, I can't even spell Samuel.
Call him Sam.
Sammy. I don't know. He should have another name, but I don't have it.
And
So
Samuel?
because this is referring to the same person, okay, what are our subjects again, Chris?
Writer and illustrator.
Writer and illustrator. All right, so that's two subjects, but because we're referring to one person, right? He's both the writer and the illustrator, but he's one person. So what we'll do is we'll use a singular verb.
So, the number one would be singular.
Number one would be singular. Don't forget to underline your subject.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, we're doing all the things right here. All right, now hold off on that for a second because I feel like you have a pretty decent grip on that. There's another time when we talk about subjects and verbs and we have to figure out what they agree with, and that is when we have the neither nor either or situation, or when there's or, just simply or between them. So if we would say, either Cody or his sisters will be here.
Probably just my sisters.
Hang on. I have to say something else here. Is or are? I can't even spell coming. Good grief. It's not my day for spelling at all. All right. So the situation here is, what are our subjects, first of all, Cody?
Cody, sisters.
Cody and sisters. So what we use in this situation is the one closest to the verb is the one we use. So we use
Are.
Sisters.
sisters because it's closest to the verb, and we use are because that's plural.
What if they're both singular, like Cody and Drew, either Cody or Drewsy?
Then we would use singular again. We use the one, or if you switch them up, either the sisters or Cody is coming. You use the one closest to the verb. Yes. So like in number 7, it says neither Esther nor her daughter could use was or were.
Where are you at?
Number 7. First of all, underline your subjects. Make sure you get that down. This was because that's singular.
Daughters was.
Daughters?
Was. Daughter was at church. You like if it was her daughter, and you said daughters were at church. What about number 8?
Iced tea is.
Is.
But 10
All right.
is like, no, sorry.
Say what?
10 is somewhat weird, isn't it? Is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's what I figured that.
Yeah, we'll make it look twice. All right. And then the other thing we have going on, number 12. Okay, what is it?
Both there.
Both and there. Right. So both is the antecedent. Make sure that gets underlined. There is plural. And 13, Leah. Number 13.
Everyone,
That's what, underlined or?
underline.
Yeah, that's the antecedent. And what are the words you circle?
He has his with him.
Why?
Does it sound bad? I don't know. Is that wrong?
No, you're right. But I want to know why.
It's singular.
Because everyone is singular, right? And so is he and his and him. If it was plural, then you would say they, their, and them, but it isn't, so you don't. All right. Quick little details on number 15. Subject,
Everyone
verb.
should try. Yeah.
Okay. Now what else do we have?
Should accept.
What could that be?
And have prepositional words.
An infinitive.
It is an infinitive.
Ah.
How is it being used?
Direct object.
As a direct object. So,
When in doubt, you just say direct object because this usually is.
Yeah.
all right. So where does graciously go?
Is it? Oh,
No, it direct.
gracious.
Is it
Underline
is gracious a verb?
No.
Graciously is an
It's
adverb.
Right. Graciously is an adverb. That's correct.
It goes
Because
into
gracious
criticism.
isn't a verb, so it's not a verb used as an adjective.
But criticism's a direct object. When graciously. Yeah.
Hmm?
Criticism's a direct object.
Yes.
And then graciously goes into
No.
It does.
Yes, it does. It goes under the verb.
Oh,
It goes under the verb.
Or the infinitive.
should try graciously.
To accept.
So it goes under accept. Graciously goes under accept. Good. Where are three types of verbals?
Participle.
Participle, and a participle is a,
Participle is a verb form used in action.
it has to be a verb used in an adjective. You said gerund, Leo?
Yeah.
Tell me what a gerund is. A gerund is,
A verb will use in subject preceded, not preceded by any, ends in ing.
how is it used?
Now,
Yes, not an adjective. Verb uses a noun. And what's our other one, our last one?
Infinitive. It's used as a noun preceded by
Verb uses a noun preceded by two. Good. There is a spelling test later on.
Ours
For
nine
spelling
words.
from the section. Just not for the spelling words for this one today. So we have for the spelling for today and for last week. Won't hurt you at all. I don't think. You know, it might hurt you a little bit. Your feelings, maybe.
my feelings were hurt a long time ago.
Oh well.
Yeah, very good too.
Teachers never hurt people's feelings.
Isn't this what
That would be a no.
English. Did I have you with me? Because that would be fun.
You think so?
Once you get in there, oh yes, I will inform you about adjectives, adverbs, and nouns.
I thought we knew about that.
Ah, you probably do, but you know about infinitives being used as adjectives, adverbs, and nouns. Infinitive used as an adjective?
No.
Because an infinitive can be used as an adjective. That is a fact, yes. An infinitive can be used as an adjective, it can be used as an adverb and a noun. We've been calling it a verbal, which is, obviously a verb form. So a verb form originally used as a noun, preceded by the word to. And that's correct. Generally speaking, that's true. But we can also use it as
Did I
an
forget to write
adverb.
my name on the book?
Yes, you did. So I wrote it. You're welcome. In my best handwriting, I might add.
I like my handwriting anyways.
Nice throw.
I
Bad
didn't
catch.
know it.
I thought I would be cool.
What we need, Mr. Those computers are taking a beating. Oh my god.
You're junk
That's
anyway.
that's
I
the
like
third
Bill
time
too,
this
94.
All right. Yeah, I should maybe just move them and get them away from there. No.
Yeah,
They
I
dropped
really
out.
got one.
All right.
Yeah, we dropped him.
Shush. 8th grade. Your input is not valuable.
I want to learn
What
about
make you
this.
feel? What's subjunctive? Subjunctive mood. When do you find them? Where do you find them? Subjunctive moods.
Whatever, so that, don't put an S on the end.
Kind of.
We always insist that my grandmother stay.
Okay, well, let's talk about it this way. Let's start here. We have three tenses basically. We have the subjunctive, or moods, I guess they call them. The subjunctive, which, boy, I sure messed that up. All right, subjunctive, interrogative, and imperative. There's also declarative, which we just really have to talk about.
Indicative.
Or indicative. Yeah, that's right. That's the one.
Indicative. Did we do it?
Indicative. Sorry.
Interrogative?
I don't know. What is interrogative?
It's a
Interrogative is
question.
a question.
Yeah.
So,
I know. I have quite a few questions.
What is interrogative?
interrogative
Is a
just means
question.
asks the question,
That's what
right?
I'm saying.
So, yeah, exactly. What is interrogative? That's a good one. Perfect. I like that one. I'm going to write it down. All right.
Subjunctive is just all what goes
Not really.
Competitiveness is one of them.
Here's an example. We're a butterfly. I hate this song. We're gonna write it
How
down.
about butterfly? And then we will
Butterfly.
We have to sing.
I'm good at it. I haven't got emotions.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Thank you.
Show us the hiccup.
But I've been thankful for making me. Anyway, that's subjunctive mood, if you were wondering. If I were, right? It's saying something like something you're obviously not. And were is actually correct. But you're obviously not this. Or if I were 16, or if I were whatever. If I were rich, I wouldn't be because I would spend more money. I was thinking about that happening. But that's how that works, right? So this is basically saying generally like you use it in a situation where you're saying something that is not exactly that way, or you can say that will be done. That would be subjunctive mood as well. Imperative.
Are you saying
No,
you can?
don't do that. I was going to say be quiet, then I know I said that already 16 times today. So, be as loud as you can. Don't. But this is imperative. It's giving orders, right? And indicative is all right. Nailed it. Perfect.
Nailed it.
Yes. We haven't even talked about explanatory yet, which will.
Which isn't hard.
That's the one with the.
Yes. All right. Infinitive says adjectives, adverbs, and nouns. What's an infinitive? Refresh my memory. Is it verbal?
Word to.
And now it can be used as an adjective, adverb. Before that,
This
they
is
weren't.
confusing.
Before that, they weren't. So a gerund can only be used as a noun, right? So any place you can use a noun, you can use a gerund. What are some places you can use a noun? Where do you find them?
Noun?
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Okay.
Anywhere.
Nouns, you'll find them in
Sentences.
predicate, nominative.
Predicate, adjective.
No,
right?
that's an adjective.
Gerund. Direct object.
Direct object, you'll find them in that spot.
Gerund. Objective complement.
Objective complement.
Find another gerund. Indirect object.
Indirect object.
Adjectives.
Object preposition.
Oh.
Subject.
A gerund is a noun.
So, a noun, obviously, you find in all these places. So, gerund Oh, pronoun. No, can't be pronoun. Correct noun.
What about adjectives?
Adjectives are nouns. Adjective or something else.
The
So,
chocolate cake. Chocolate is now.
it could be a compound noun. Anyway, moving on. So,
Chocolate cake fruit.
we're not concerned about this. Let's not get caught up in who's been fooling around with English language, right? So, the gerunds can be used in these situations. The infinitive can also, but now also has adjectives
So it can be
and
better.
adverbs. So you can put it below a verb, but describe it.
Oh, Dad, I never use it other than the word.
No, not infinitives. Participles.
Hey, just put
No,
that.
not really participles.
You should put it
What is a participle?
Adjective. Adjective use.
No, not adjective used. It's a verbal, Lisa. So that means it's a
Noun.
verb used as an adjective. Right. That's the thing about it. It's a verb. It is a verb. No, not a participle.
What is it?
Not necessarily. Gerunds are always ing. Ed, ing, t, whatever. It has a thing on the end. It has a doohickey. All right. Good. Perfect. All right, so let's find some infinitives. Let's look at number one. Where's an infinitive? Your
Subject.
History.
right. The whole thing goes through history. To study British history.
Subject.
It is being used as a subject. That's correct. Number two.
You describe the conflict between all
Yes, it goes the whole way to the end. So from describe the whole way to the end. And how's it being used, Lisa? Hmm?
Why do they have adverb up there?
I don't know.
Isn't it adverb?
No, it isn't.
Okay, it's not. I think it's right for preposition either.
Non-object preposition, you're right. What's the verb in the sentence?
Attempted.
Okay. What's the subject?
Is there a subject?
Ah, you're right.
Wow, that's okay.
All right, I'm not going to do the rest of those because I think you'll figure it out.
You think so?
Basically, the question is, how do you tell if an infinitive is a noun, adjective, or adverb? So, the deal is if it modifies a verb, adjective, or adverb, it is an adverb. Simple, just like any other adverb. Usually, an infinitive functioning as adverbs answer the question why and to what extent. That's normally where the infinitive is going. So, like for instance, to see in the example sentence of close to the bottom of page 15, it says, to see the constellations I drove. So it goes under drove. So basically when you diagram it, you would go, you put drove here, and then you would go to see constellations, so on and so forth. You just treat it like normal, you just put it underneath the verb. And it answers why in this case. If it modifies a noun or a pronoun, it's an adjective. Simple. Same situation. You put, generally the answer to the question, what kind? So the best way to learn a foreign language, what kind of way? I don't know. Seems like they left that one. That one seems a bit strange, their terminology on that. But I'll give them that. So it would go underway, and you would do it the same thing. So under the subject, to learn language, so on
How
and so
would
forth.
you say that?
What?
That's how I would say it. If I said learn foreign language.
Yes, I'm saying it doesn't answer the question what kind. Maybe it does. I don't know. Say what? We talked about the nouns, I think. I don't think we talked about the. Oh, yeah, possibly. And then basically the function is the subject, direct object. Object proposition, it's a noun, and in that case you have to put it on a pedestal. Pedestal.
I cannot do, well, if you have gerund, and then, so you'd have to put gerund on testicle, and then to immerse would be, somehow.
Direct object of the gerund.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
You could have pedestals up to wazoo. Put it on a sentence like that. Then make the 8th graders suck through it. That's all right. So I'll give them a sentence for you guys to suck through. We'll have a diagram.
Are we gonna make notes
Diagram.
that make it in meeting?
Hmm?
Did you bring this up with the meeting?
Yes, it did. So number 6. What kind of infinitive is that? What is it modifying here?
An adjective.
No, it's not an adjective.
Adverb.
It is an adverb, it's not an
What is it?
adverb.
What is it describing?
Oh, it's that, described. Is difficult.
Is difficult is the verb in this situation. And it is describing that and answering which question? It's answering, yeah, I would, okay, yeah, sure, maybe why, maybe to what extent. Sure.
And the next one's a noun.
Is it? Yes, being used as the subject of the sentence.
Because it's used by the verb, that's different.
The next one is an adverb.
Why?
I don't know, adverbs might be
Yeah, adverbs do often go at the beginning. And you are correct, it is an adverb. And it's answering questions. Yeah. Good. And we'll do one of the,
Next, number 10.
one of 11 or 12. Oh, hang on. Let me think. Yeah, sure. We'll do number 11. That's going to be the most fun. What's the subject of the sentence? A verb.
well.
Subject is way. Verb is correct.
I can do
So,
it.
number 11. Yes, we already said that. So verb is subject is way.
There's 2 of them in there.
So way is. That's what we're talking
The only way.
about. What is the only way?
The only? With
The only goes under way. That's correct. The only.
And CC.
Okay. Now we have 2C. So 2C is a what?
Is it noun? Is it infinitive? Is it noun?
Adjective.
No, not as a noun.
Adjective.
As we can use an adjective, yes. 2C. Okay, what else do we have in here?
All.
2C, where's all go?
As a direct noun.
All
Of this church.
of this church. Okay. And
2 pages.
what is it?
Present nominative. It has to be because there's no predicate adjectives in there.
Okay. So like this.
But
And then B is direct object of A.
Yes, it is.
And then A.
Good.
So on number 10, are they both adjectives?
No.
one's a noun, one's an adjective.
Yes.
The last one's a noun.
Last one is no.
Why? Do you know what is adjective? That's adjective.
I had to figure it out. Put it in there. All right. And gerund phrases and how they're used. We're working on some dashes as well. Dashing to to introduce an interrupting phrase or clause to show interrupted speech. And also to whenever there's details going on in the following.
This one doesn't even have it.
So in number 23, where did dash go?
After cities, right?
No.
After
You're just making wild guesses.
I know.
Okay, how would you read this? Read this to me. Listen.
London, Bath, Bristol, and York. These will also be in West Beach. I think we talked about.
Okay, so where would you put that? London, Bath, Bristol, and York, these were all cities in England.
You stop right after York a little bit.
Huh?
You stop after York a little bit. Too long.
It'll be like this.
Just after York.
Is it? Why?
Yeah.
Which rule does it follow?
Yeah, I'm just gonna get on around.
We should.
Forced into this job.
Use that as a series of words that give you chance to see that follow.
What about number 24, Christie?
That was right after preaching and after
Okay,
faith.
where are you?
Yes.
The one that you got
A
down?
little interrupting thing going on there. And then 25, verse 6.
Where's the ones that kind of yeah.
This is an absolute pain in the ass.
There's one more.
After
No. Read it, John. Which church was it? Oh, I remember, the Methodist, that John and Charles Wesley started.
I just have a question.
Because what you could basically take that chunk out, it's essentially a non-essential.
Oh, no,
That's what it there.
the
It
service
says,
songs.
which church was it that John and Charles Wesley started? Right? So basically, it's a completely non-essential phrase. It's basically an exclamation in the middle of a non-essential phrase. Of an essential, of the essential requirement. And so pretty much drop it out. So just kind of a little interruption. All right.
It must be
I just got done with you guys. That's what I'm trying to serve. Hey, Mr. Kent, you wanna help us? What?
No, I'm busy.
You must be royalty.
Just got
I
science.
don't know what royalty is.
What kind of verb it must be?
It's the being verb.
That is just a good old thing. Yeah, that one. Give me some money, some others.
What does royalty mean?
Oh, which one? We only have one more.
What kind of verb is it?
We only have one more button.
There's a whole file over there.
Where, oh.
It's a being verb. But what else?
Did you guys get the ones up in the pulpit and?
Yeah, Richard got the puzzle.
And there's some bench.
Say what?
Yeah, I tried looking at this and that show wasn't
You
very
must be
nice.
royalty.
We want some more, you know?
Say what? I want to know what you're doing.
This one.
Putting it
There's
in
that
there.
shirt back there.
Say what?
I'm not sure.
Put it in with the verb.
There's a little bit for you
That's
to do. I only got three.
It's royalty is a verb. Doesn't matter how you do it.
Last
Yeah.
year.
All right. People down here.
One of the two.
That's enough. What does that mean? What do you call those
Predicate,
things?
adjective, or predicate?
It's an adjective.
Yeah. Give it a together. And then to be married in this church but of the royalty. Must be.
Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so it's answering the question, which one? What are the adverb questions?
Mr. Cat, I think they made too many copies.
Say what?
How? When? Where? Why? Where?
Is it answering one of those questions?
Where? To be married.
Do you marry? Is answering a question, right?
No, it doesn't answer it.
It might be.
You think it was a little? better than the verb?
No. Not at 50, but some more.
I mean,
I'm pretty much
To
taking
be
this job.
married, you must be wife. See, that's just wrong. To be married in this world.
Yeah.
that's how you get married in this church, right? You have to be.
Your children have to buy something. Yeah. Somebody did this one backwards. Whoa, this one's weird.
To be married in this church. Yeah.
Beware. I have
So
must
married-
be. Is there more of them? Not just.
Go ahead.
Must, is that a verb?
Well, these go y'all.
Yeah, right there.
I think they wound up using be married as the verb.
Married as a verb?
Well, no, to be.
What's the infinitive?
Yeah, no, they have to be married as a verb.
Well, how do you try it?
To is they have it like this.
Oh, so married
To
is not.
be married.
Last year was
To be married. And yes, it is an act.
To be married where? In the church under. Mr. Kent, what do we do with all these?
No.
No, it's wrong.
Oh, marriage is like it is.
Married in this church.
This is like.
Are you on a pedestal?
So we're pulling back up.
It's on a pedestal.
And then,
So what?
Oh, maybe that is.
Hey, Richard can take some of those.
How is
I don't have it on a pedestal.
where do you have it?
Under, like, how you have it on the board. How you have it on the board.
It's supposed to be. Right, yeah, it doesn't need to be on a pedestal if it's not a noun. Only if it's being used as a noun does it ever put on a pedestal.
well, you want to have a direct object.
That's a noun. All subjects are nouns, but not all nouns are subjects.
Figure out what you want. So to be loyal, and then to Christ. So to be loyal is on the pedestal.
How is it being used?
And then I'd have to Christ.
What is loyal? See, an infinitive doesn't have to be, an infinitive doesn't have to be an action.
And then to Christ is just a preposition, right?
No,
Under
Christ is a noun.
under B.
No,
To Christ is a, I have it on the little,
To
it's a what?
infinitive.
No, it's not a verb. Is Christ a verb?
No, but I have it like a
What's
prepositional
Christ?
phrase.
Is it a prepositional verb?
To Christ, yeah, it's a preposition.
Where does it go?
Under the one.
Why?
That's right. But
answers the question too. So,
Right. Yeah, correct. We're using language, right? Right.
we're out of folders and there's still spots to fill.
Well, it's not.
There's
it's not
only-
current yet.
like, well, maybe this is uncarded. This one.
We won't run over them, just because I feel like we know them pretty well. They're easy.
And if we get them all wrong, it's not our fault.
We're looking ignoramus for epitome. Epitome is a good word.
You know how to spell it.
That's right.
You know how to spell it.
It looks like epitome.
I know. And synecdoche looks like something else. Synecdoche. I don't know. I don't know how to say that. Under your paper. Chris.
Manufactured. This, just ready to go. I could probably go in here and just leave the date blank, just go to the copier and copy like 5, and just have it with it.
Alright. And we'll leave your name on top. No, I do actually sort papers by date. Sometimes I find one that's a strange one. I don't remember I had. Maybe I had.
You made it back together. Sometimes
Yes,
I write wrong
person,
dates,
yes.
just so you're prepared.
You obviously did it 15 or something. I did that.
No,
too.
I didn't. But sometimes I'll just like a weird number, like big number.
I'm not hard to type
Are you? They're not hard. Alright, good. First two are hammock and raft.
Person?
Yes. The man trying to build a hammock racked his brain for a place to tie onto. Hammock and rack.
There's this video of one guy, he got stranded on an island and he built a hammock. And he was like, now I can just lay down. And he looked down on it, the whole thing was cold.
I hate when that happens.
It was kind
3 and 4 are potluck and locket. If you went to a potluck and found a locket in the soup, you would be interested. Potluck and locket.
What would you do if you found one in there?
Probably not eat it. I wouldn't like mine. Numbers 5 and 6 are flashback and ransack.
Give this one.
You want a regular live one?
Flash.
Flashback and ransack.
I'm doing this one.
Ooh, shush. Enough conversation.
Flashback.
Flashback and ransack. Can't think of a good sentence for that. Wow. 7 and 8, gimmick and placket. Oh shoot, I forget what placket is. Oh well, it's probably gimmick anyway. Gimmick and placket. Gimmick is a good word. I like it. Numbers 9 and 10. Shamrock and haddock. I found 3 shamrock growing in the paddock. Then the horse sat.
Haddock?
Paddock. Shamrock and haddock.
Okay, what is it?
Shamrock and haddock. 11 and 12. Bannock and socket. The man, bannock, was so hard he could use it for a socket. For the stuck boat. Bannock and socket.
Number 10 was.
I'll read it. 13 and 14. Mattock and hummock. The man stuck his mattock deep into the hummock and pried it up. Mattock and hummock.
What's a hummock?
Hummock is like a hill of grass or something in a pasture, in a wet pasture. 15 and 16 are padlock and chopstick. The Chinese man carefully padlocked his chopsticks into the safe. Padlock and chopstick. He was very proud of it, apparently.
Like golden chopstick.
Yeah, golden chopsticks. 17 and 18. That'd be a good Chinese restaurant name, the Golden Chopstick.
Yeah, actually,
There are.
Really?
Yeah.
We, yeah, our
I
teacher
didn't know
took us
that.
to one actually.
That's unfortunate. I won't. 17 and 18 are Wicket and Limerick. What's a wicket? Oh, wicket, like a wicket chair.
A wicket and what?
Oh, wicket
Wicket
and
is that
Limerick.
thing you play with.
Oh yeah, that's also true. The loop. I hit the ball through the wicket and said a limerick about it.
But
The man falling down the hill. Wicket and limerick. Or I said a limerick about the gas man named Peter. 19 and 20 are haddock and knick-knack. I purchased the toy haddock or a knick-knack to sit on my shelf. Haddock and knick-knack. Why people do that, I don't know. And I will read over them, make sure that your cursive letters are formed correctly, check for spelling as I read back over. Number 1 is hammock, 2 rack, 3 potluck, 4 locket, 5 flashback, 6 ransack, 7 gimmick, 8 blacket, 9 shamrock, 10 paddock, 11 bannock, 12 socket, 13 mattock, 14 hummock, 15 padlock, 16 chopstick, 17 wicket, 18 limerick, 19 haddock, 20 knick-knack.
I'm actually pretty unconfident for some reason.
I do want to run over the section 2 spelling words on the board as well. So you can just go from that to this, and talk about the section 2. Yeah, that to this to that, whatever the difference is. Cody, meticulous. Richard, finale. Chris, spelunker. And Leah, astute.
That's not even a word.
Astute, yes. The astute student knew that it was a word. Mm-hmm. Cody, ignoramus. Ignoramus, my bad. Ignoramus, Richard, loiter. Chris, loiter, yes. Chris is precarious, and Leah is guile. The teacher conned us into it with great guile. Ignoramus, you have too many O's in here.
Where?
Must. They just must. They finally decided to get it right. Loiter is good, precarious is good. Guile also quite well. Cody, asteroid. Richard, ally. Chris, epitome. And Leah, vernacular. Vernacular is also a good word. I like it. Epitome. It looks like epitome. Epitome does. Epitome. But it's not. It's epitome. So you can fix that.
That's how you spell
That's how you spell it. Doesn't have to follow the rules. Apparently, vernacular, good. Good. Audacious. Richard, brevity. Chris, premonition. And Leah, chandelier.
Grandma, what?
Premonition. I had a premonition about everybody failing this. Premonition. Audacious. Brevity.
Okay.
Premonition. Oh, close. It's pre-mon, so M-O-N, M-O-N, and then I-T-I-O-N. Chandelier, ooh, nice. I believe you got it. I believe you got it now. Okay, audacious. That's it.
No.
Okay.
Is that right? No,
Audacious.
that's not.
That's B there. It's not gonna help you out. Audacious. Think of the word audible.
Does it start with an X?
Oh, you're close actually. Go C-I. Yes. Audacious. And then do league. Annihilate. That's a good word. I like that. Laconic and apathy. Laconic. Laconic is also pretty good. It's L-A-C. Annihilate. Yes. Why they threw an I in there, I don't know, but they did.
Yes.
Annihilate. I guess that makes sense. Lead, also correct. And apathy, good. All right, erase and move through them. A different direction. Yes, erase. These things I know. Life is hard, Richard. But you'll, after a period of grieving, no, erase those. Okay. All right. Let's go through them from the ballroom sheet. Annihilated.
I'm just doing good.
All right. Let's start from the side. Needs to be noted. Meticulous. Finale. Spelunker. Astute. Okay, that didn't work.
It actually worked.
Ish.
Oh, hey, did I get that right? I turned out right.
Actually, I think you did get it right.
I did?
Yes.
Got one right.
It turned out quite yuck.
Meticulous.
Was it supposed to be so posh?
Yes. And astute, correct. Ignoramus.
That didn't work.
Loiter. Precarious. Vile.
Yeah. Good. Right there.
Ignoramus.
Right.
Okay, you don't need to know this.
I think I got it right.
That's Moss. And Emos.
Surprise.
Ignoramus.
Why is it so funny? Doesn't it look good?
All right.
Ow.
Asteroid. Alibi. Epitome. You can just watch what you're doing.
Can't really do that with my left hand.
Alibi. No, it's actually not correct.
It's too
Asteroid is good. No. Alibi has two I's. A-L-I-B-I.
Oh, I can't remember. Okay.
Why ever they did that, I don't know. Okay, and vernacular is correct. Leah. Audacious. Chris. Brevity.
I did it.
Richard.
What?
Premonition.
Premonition.
And Cody. Chandelier.
Nothing else to read.
Audacious. I can't see it here. Ooh, nice. Audacious.
That was a complete guess.
Well, you're getting good at guessing.
Thanks.
Chandelier, good.
You have
And
to.
your last one. doing a good job on this one. League. Annihilate.
Me?
Yes.
You gave annihilate to somebody else.
Richard. Annihilate. You do laconic, and you do that.
Now that really
Okay. Hey, that's not right. I know that.
No, it's not right. Apathy. Try again. Or annihilate.
What is that one?
You need, is there two N's in there? I can't
Yes.
tell.
A-N-N-I-L-O.
Yes, league is correct. It's your final one, laconic, maybe with receipts.
How do you spell this word?
Apathy.
I have no idea.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay.
APA. THY.
Oh, okay. Now you remember. Do we ever?
Where's my coffee? I know I had it.
What kind of table right there?
It's behind the micro, whatever it's called.
Oh, that'd be it. Let's have lunch. Richard.
They're gonna think you're gonna stay in the house to get bodies. It is my good grades and I think people need if they're not upcoming wedding, everyone involved.
Amen. Ladies.
Man.
Must track my diamond. Arriving by Tuesday, November 16th.
If you can't smash it on the first try, I don't have a go.
Yeah.
I probably can't, but I just want to try it.
Matt. Okay, hang on.
Where is it? Is it going to your house or
Yes.
here?
It's coming to my house, so.
You should have got a big one. Like at least.
It's pretty big.
How big is it? Like
You got
this big?
72 carat.
Like this big, Mr. Grant?
Bigger?
2.2 millimeters.
How big is that in like inch wise?
It's over an eighth of an inch, I think.
Eighth of an inch. Wow, that's really small. That's really small.
Is it big for diamonds or what?
So it'll fit between your fingers.
Yeah, I mean, it's decent size. No, the thing is, so apparently there's different classes of diamonds, right? And some are just harder than others, and this one is, I guess, just kind of not one of the hard class.
Softer.
Yeah, soft. I mean, soft for a diamond, I guess. Hardness of 9.5 or 9 point. Yeah, 9.5.
Small piece of glass is sprayed. We need to do all the
Like a little mirror.
Yeah. Like that.
I bet you could scratch the whiteboard.
I bet it would. But then again, a piece
We
of glass
tried.
would also scratch a whiteboard. No, I'm not gonna scratch a whiteboard.
Can
I've
we
seen
scratch
other
one of
ones.
these glass, the windows faces?
Say what?
Can we scratch a window?
No. Silly.
I've seen other pieces of glass like wrote on, like people
Yeah.
write on them. How do they do that?
Well, the truth of the matter is that steel is also harder than glass.
Uh,
So you can just scratch them with a piece of steel. Knife, generally, I'm assuming. It looks like it may be. Oh. What? Is it saying out for delivery? I don't know.
where did you buy it off of? Like,
eBay. A high quality eBay diamond.
Someone tried to sell like New Zealand or something on eBay one time.
Oh yeah? How'd that work for them?
I don't know. It's just in a random fact book we have.
That's really fun.
There was also somebody who tried to patent the wheel.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. Nobody had, so he thought he'd give it a whirl. I think he won a bet over it.
Did it work
Somehow.
out for him?
I think so. I mean, obviously he didn't. I'm not sure how he managed to do that because he's not charging royalties for the wheel, but I don't even know how they let that through. Like, it's such a generally accepted. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how they